All right, so you've just moved to Texas. Welcome. But before you get too comfortable, we need to talk about getting you legal on the roads. Welcome to our explainer, where today we're breaking down the exact steps you need to legally transfer your driver's license. Moving states is stressful enough without getting tangled up in bureaucratic red tape, right? So today, we're providing a complete step-by-step guide to transferring your out-of-state driver's license to a Texas license in 2026. And we're going to shine a massive spotlight on a hidden vehicle registration rule that trips up so many new residents.
Now, you'd think this would be a simple one-to-one swap. You just walk in, hand over your old card, and they hand you a shiny new one with the Lone Star on it, right? Well, nope, not exactly. Texas has a literal maze of strict rules and very specific sequencing. If you do things out of order, you're going to waste a whole lot of time.
90. That number is your ticking clock. By law, you have exactly 90 days from the moment you establish residency to get your Texas driver's license, and we're going to make sure you beat that clock.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll be covering the ticking Texas clock, the hidden vehicle registration rule, some sneaky traps and age rules, gathering your essential documents, and finally, acing your DPS appointment.
Starting off with Part 1, the ticking Texas clock.
Okay, so day one, that's the day you move in, start a new job, or register to vote. The clock starts right then. And look closely at day 30. That's your deadline to get your car registered, which, surprisingly, runs on a completely separate, much shorter clock than your license. We highly recommend booking your DPS appointment by day 60, just as a safety buffer, because if you miss that 90-day mark on the far right, your out-of-state license is officially invalid for driving in Texas. Seriously, if you get into a fender bender after day 90, your insurance company could potentially deny your claim altogether.
Moving on to Part 2, the hidden vehicle registration rule.
This is the trapdoor that catches everyone off guard. You absolutely must register your vehicle in Texas before you can even think about transferring your driver's license. It's wild, but Texas ties your license transfer directly to your car. Meaning, if you own a vehicle and you show up to the DPS without Texas plates or proof of registration, they are going to send you straight back home. You've got to handle the car before you handle the license. So, how do we beat the bureaucracy? Here is the exact step-by-step order you have to follow. First up, buy Texas auto insurance. It's got to meet the state's 30, 60, 25 minimum coverage. Second, take your car to a certified station to pass a safety, emissions, and VIN inspection. Third, grab that inspection paperwork and head over to the county tax office to register your vehicle and get your Texas plates. Only after you've done all three of those things do you finally visit the DPS for your driver's license.
All right, Part 3, hidden traps and age rules.
Now, most of us fall into that first bucket. If your out-of-state license is valid and unexpired, you're golden. The written and driving tests are totally waived. It's a simple transfer. But watch out, because Texas enforces a super strict 2-year expiration rule. If your old license lapsed more than 2 years ago, poof, your testing waiver is gone entirely. You're treated as a brand new first-time applicant, and you literally have to start from scratch.
And for the parents moving to Texas, brace yourselves. This is the harsh reality for teens with learner permits. That mandatory 6-month holding period, it completely resets the day your teen gets their Texas permit. The Texas Transportation Code literally gives 0 credit for the time a permit was held in another state. So, if they've been driving for 5 months in California, sorry to say, they are basically back to day 1 in Texas. These specific age brackets dictate exactly what extra steps you have to take. Teens with provisional licenses need proof of school enrollment and a 2-hour online course. And if you're 18 to 24 without a valid license, maybe you hit that expired trap we just talked about, you are legally mandated to take a 6-hour adult driver's ed course. But hey, here's a massive pro tip. Even if you're 25 or older, taking that 6-hour course is a brilliant hack. Why? Because it actually includes the DPS written exam. It totally saves you from taking the test at a crowded DPS office.
Which brings us to Part 4, gathering your essential documents.
You've got to make sure your paperwork is absolutely bulletproof before you leave the house. The DPS requires this exact checklist. You need your unexpired out-of-state license to hand over, proof of identity like a passport, your social security card, proof of your Texas vehicle registration, and a filled-out Form DL-14A. Oh, and they are incredibly strict about residency. You need 2 distinct forms of proof showing your new Texas address, like a utility bill that's under 90 days old and a lease agreement.
And listen to me carefully here. No photocopies allowed, at all. A printed out picture of your social security card or a copied birth certificate will get your application rejected instantly.
Grab the originals, check them twice, put them all in a secure folder. Finally, Part 5. Acing your DPS appointment. So the Texas DPS doesn't really do walk-ins gracefully anymore. In major metros like Dallas, Houston, or Austin, you've got to join a virtual queue online or sometimes book weeks in advance. When you do finally get to the counter, you'll pass a quick vision test, provide your biometric thumbprints, smile for a new photo, and permanently surrender your old out-of-state card.
Let's talk money real quick. While the actual license transfer itself is only $33, remember you had to register your car first. So adding the vehicle registration base fee and the title application fee, you're paying a bit more upfront. But honestly, compared to other states, the whole process is relatively affordable, provided you don't get hit with late penalties for missing those 30 or 90-day deadlines.
Now, before you walk away from that DPS counter, they're going to hand you a temporary paper license. Look at it closely. Check the spelling, check the address. This piece of paper is your sole proof of driving privileges while you wait 2 to 3 weeks for the permanent plastic card to arrive in the mail. And definitely keep your passport handy during this time because a piece of paper isn't always going to work for getting on an airplane or buying age-restricted items.
A few final pro tips to save your sanity. To minimize wait time, avoid the DPS on Mondays, Fridays, and around holidays. Basically, avoid the first and last week of the month entirely. Make sure your out-of-state license doesn't expire right in the middle of your move. And remember, in Texas, the DPS handles driver's licenses. The DMV handles your vehicle registration. Do not go to the wrong building.
So, are you ready to beat the Texas DPS clock? Knowing this hidden sequence and the strict deadlines gives you a massive advantage. You now have the power to seamlessly become a legal Texas driver without the usual bureaucratic headache. You know about the 90-day clock, that hidden vehicle registration rule, and exactly what documents to bring.
Thanks for joining us for this explainer. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next guide, where we're looking at how to bypass massive DMV lines using the state's brand new digital tools. Look, moving is a huge adventure, and having this roadmap means you can get back to actually enjoying your new Texas life faster. But it does leave us with a thought. As thousands of people flock to new states every single day, is it time we push for a modernized, unified national transfer system, or is this state-by-state bureaucratic maze just a rite of passage? Something to think